I'm a guy that came from nothing. Anybody's capable of doing shit like this. Anybody. And I sat in that tub. She put the water on me. She called my mom up. And my mom was dating a doctor at the time. The doctor said, you need to get him to a hospital now. She came back in. All I wanted to do was call Chris Costman on the phone, the race director of Badwater, and said, I fucking did it. So she said, I'm taking you to the doctor. I said, no, let me sit here and enjoy this pain. She said, what are you talking about? I said, you know, I need to go to the doctor. I realized that. But I never thought it was humanly possible to do what I did. I went 70 miles. And at 70 miles, I was dead. I was at 100%. What I thought was 100%. I went 31 more miles after being in the worst physical shape I've ever been in my life. And all that pain and suffering and thing was going through my fucking body as I sat in that tub and the waters hit me. It was the most amazing feeling of accomplishment. And I want to be numb. I didn't want people to give me drugs and to numb this fucking pain. I did this. And as crazy as it sounds, it was the most amazing moment of my entire life. To come from this kid who was mentally tortured himself and was tortured to this guy now, who was able to overcome such amazing odds and obstacles. And I called Chris Costman up, the race director of Badwater, and he said, the idea of a 24-hour race is to run 24 hours. You only ran 19. And he put doubt in my mind that he would let me into Badwater. So a month later or so, about a month and a half later, I went to this race called the Hurt 100. It's a 100-mile race in Hawaii, 26,000 feet of climbing.
That was all he said?
That's all he said.
That's so crazy.
He's a hardcore dude, but he didn't know how fucked up I was.
Right.
And he said, he didn't say, he didn't say no, I'm not gonna let you in. He put enough doubt in my mind and say, man, I gotta do more. So I was broken bad. And
how long did it take you to recover physically?
The funniest thing about this, I don't tell the story very often. I had signed up I'm getting to that answer, it's right now. I went on deployment and me and my wife and my mom signed up for the first Las Vegas marathon down the strip of Las Vegas. And that incident happened, so I ran 100 miles before I ran a marathon. 2 weeks later, roughly, December 5th, was this marathon that we all signed up for. I couldn't walk. I could not walk. I was fucked up. So 10 days or 2 weeks after this 100 mile in one race I did, this marathon, December 5th in Las Vegas. I said, you know what, it's the first one, I can't run, maybe I can walk with my mom. So I tried to go out to this little knoll around our grassy area in San Diego. I tried to run, legs were broken. I said, fuck, I can't even, I'm jacked, can't do shit. So I said, you know what, maybe I'll watch you guys do the marathon and I'll cheer you guys. When I was a SEAL recruiter, I got invited to MIT. Smart ass motherfuckers there, man. I'm not that. I'm just a good animal. I'm a knuckle dragger. And there was this guy there, I forget his name, but he was like the top head guy. Old white guy, you know, all geniused out. And we were on this panel and they were asking us all these questions about the mind, mental toughness and shit. And he was answering them. And I wasn't answering many questions. And I'll never forget, he was just answering them off of theory. He never put his fucking ass in shit. You read a bunch of fucking books and you think that you know how the fucking mind works and shit. I had gone through hell since a kid and then all the way up until now.
Right.
So I know, so that theory is bullshit. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff out there you can read from people, but I had lived hell. And when you put yourself in hell, that's the only time you can figure out how the fuck to get through that motherfucker. You can't read somebody else's book about some theory on how to do shit. Some guy who sat up in a nice warm office and wrote some book with a nice cup of coffee in the fucking hand. No, I want to see that guy who immersed himself in fucking hell. And he thought about quitting and leaving and his wife and his kids and why am I here? Is it worth it? All this crazy shit. And still said and found out a way to get through it. So basically that's the bottom line of it all. We all want to read about how we can quickly get somewhere. That's why the 6-minute abs and all sort of shit is so powerful. You may get some results from it, but they're not permanent. The permanent result comes from you fucking, I say it all the time, you have to suffer. You have to make that a tattoo on your fucking brain, so when that hard time comes again, you don't forget it. You may forget it for a second, but you can go back in the cookie jar, I call it. It's something that we've all endured. I call it the cookie jar, and we often forget how hard we are, but you gotta reflect back. Take a couple seconds to reflect. I've been through this, I've been through that. And then remind yourself, I'm a bad motherfucker. And then you can get through that shit. But if you don't believe it, you haven't endured shit, you're just blowing smoke, man. And you're not gonna get through anything.
What was this guy saying? Like, what was his theories that he was throwing out there?
His theories was about, I forget exactly what it was, but it was something about what the mind does under stress. And how we can't, he said how we can't do something. And I did it. I did what he said we couldn't do.
Like, what was he saying you couldn't do?
It was something about if you're born a certain way, it's something about if you're born a certain way, you can't become this way. It was totally saying that with who I am now, like I had to be born with some, not genetic power or some gift from God, but I had to have some kind of special gift. I had to have some kind of special gift. And I forget what set me off, but it was like we had to be, to be somewhere, you had to be born with it. What was the concept? And I know what I was born with, and I know the battle that I had in my mind. So when he said it, I just sat there, looked at my face, and somebody in the crowd asked me a question. And I totally contradicted everything he said. And I was like, nah, man, I mean, I fucking know for a fact that you can be this fucked up dude, like really fucked up dude, and with the right mindset, and it sounds so easy with the right mindset.
It doesn't sound easy.
It's
I know what you're saying. It sounds like a simplistic answer.
Right. You can. But you have to go into those dark chambers that we often shut off, and you gotta open them up. You gotta open up and fight that fucking demon, get in there, talk to that motherfucker and say, what's up? And we all like to take this 4-lane highway, the easy highway. It has fucking signs, it has restaurants. We all love that 4-lane highway. We always step over the shovel. And all I did was I picked up that fucking shovel, and that shovel, I made my own path. And you may have big boulders and shit. They may be getting 200 miles up the road faster than you. But going through this path of life, this journey over here that you make yourself, that's incredibly difficult. When it comes out the other end of that motherfucker, is some glorious shit that you can't even explain to people. And we're afraid. Bottom line is, most of us, even the people who have all these theories and shit, it's easier to accept the fact that I'm just not good enough. I wasn't made to do that. And yeah, some of us can't be LeBron fucking James. But I'll tell you right now, man, we can do a lot of shit when it comes to this pure on guts and willpower and getting through shit. We have a lot more than we think we have.